try to base
Well,
what I remember off of that. You know, it's a mind fuck.
Let's just stop right here. Okay. Now, one thing I'm not going to do is I'm not going to sit here and listen to this kind of gibberish. Okay, that's not. I'm not going to waste my time doing. No. Wait. Now listen. I'm going to start talking, and you're going to start listening. Okay. All right. I'm going to be point blank with you, pal. Right now, your hind end is the one that's hanging over the edge, and Ryan could care less about it.
Okay.
Okay? Do you understand me?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Now, you better start thinking very clearly.
Okay.
Because it's you that is on this chopping block.
Okay.
Am I clear to you?
Yes.
Now, do we need to go back and go through this step by step?
No.
Well, I think we do, and that's what we're going to do. And I don't want to hear, all of a sudden I just think I maybe fabricated all this and, No. What I want to hear is exactly what Ryan told you, because that's what's going to keep you in a position to where you're not going to be the sole individual out here responsible for what happened to Kent.
Okay.
Okay?
Yeah.
I can't be any more clear to you than that.
I understand.
And you need to understand it.
Mark, what do you got?
Yeah. Look, now, I love this. So he gets in close. He gets into intimate space. His hand comes into intimate distance to the face. That's a pretty big move. So he, I mean, again, he looks like he's going to give him a dance. I don't know whether money exchanged hands on this one, but that's a little bit close, I would say. So somebody's getting a little bit too out of hand and a bit upset here. Why do I think that? Well, he's doing whatever he's doing. I don't know what he thinks he's doing there, but he doesn't get the answer he was looking for. He says, "Do we need to go back step by step?" No, says the interviewee. And he says, "Well, I think we do." What he was hoping for is he's going to go, "Do we need to go back step by step?" And he was hoping the interviewer would say, yes. Look, let's go back to the beginning. Here's what he was hoping for: a yes. He doesn't get a yes. Whatever he's trying to do here is not getting him the answers that he's looking for. He shouldn't have to be getting that close to anybody to be getting this kind of bad reaction. If it was working, if what he was doing was working, he'd be getting the answers that he's looking for. He'd be getting the results he's looking for. He's not. He's getting agitated. He's getting upset. That lovely bit of acting that he does. I don't want to hear any. Whoa. It's like if Ricky Gervais did a take on a bad interrogation now, because he's got just bad mocking acting going on in this. Scott, what do you got on this one?
All right. This is where his hands are up and he's trying to get Chuck to stop talking, but he's not being combative, like I was saying earlier. There's no reason to do that. And he says, "I don't want to hear you say, oh, I may have fabricated all this." You got to be kidding me. You've got to be kidding me that he said that out loud. I don't know, man. I think this guy, he took the read technique and he's remembering parts of it and how to do it. The stuff that he thinks will help him, but he's not remembering the intricacies of it or how to use it. The reason I like, like Greg was talking about earlier, the reason I like the read technique is because you can use it like a muscle car. You can put you can use that little line of questioning, and you can do it in your own style to fit any situation or most any situation, not when you're dealing with terrorists and stuff, when you're dealing with normal criminals. But you can, like if it was a car, I was like, say you put paint flames on the front of it and big old tires or small tires with those steering wheels that's a chain, whatever you want to put in it. You can make your car, your technique, your read technique, do whatever you need to do. You just build it for that specific situation and you can change it as it goes along. That's why I like it. But this guy's just using the stock stuff, bringing it right out, going, "Oh, I'm going to start talking here," and there's no reason for him to do that because the kid's trying to explain what happened. Unless, and the reason I thought he was an attorney of the DA was because he doesn't want him to say anything. He's being too aggressive with him for no reason. There's no reason for him to be acting this way and doing that with him, unless he wants to make sure he gets a confession out of him and makes him say, "Yeah, I did," which he said he did it, but gets him to with beyond a shadow of a doubt that he did it on paper, not in real life, but so it looks that way. Oof. Mark or Chase, what do you got?
So this hands up gesture is taught in several interrogation schools. And depending on which one you go to, they're going to teach you to hold them up and wait or hold them up and talk at the same time. But if you want classic read, what is it supposed to look like and sound like? It's not supposed to be confrontational like this. But here's precisely what the read technique should be looking like. It should be, Scott, hold on a second. I know that's important to you, and I promise you that we're going to get to that. But here's what we need to address right now. That's exactly what it should look like and sound like. So here's 7 ways that this is leading down the road to a false confession. He's dismissing the suspect's perspective completely, intimidation and threat, pressuring to agree, creating a binary scenario, which is to a confession, leading towards a desired confession, ignoring possible recantation is what they call it. So not allowing them to do or say anything, and then forcing a specific narrative. The aggressive move of the interviewer here is a hallmark of something I can't say on YouTube. I'll just say beta male. This is a sign of insecurity, it's posturing, and it's artificial toughness. And he waits until Chuck is vulnerable, making him feel a little more powerful. And I think he takes advantage of this. This is my opinion here, out of his own insecurity and fear that he has no control over the situation. Greg?
Yeah, let me point to how you know that this is not his personality. If I were to explode and be the bad guy, so you come in to be the good guy, doesn't affect me. I've got a great example when I was doing a show for British TV called Torture, the Guantanamo Guidebook. I grabbed this kid and jacked him up because it was what we're supposed to do. One of the approaches, scream, yell at him, bang my elbows against the wall, all this kind of stuff. And I walked out and the woman was like, "You look really upset." I was like, "No, just would like a soda." Just walk out. It's acting. And Mark, to your point, some cannot act. Some people cannot act. So they are like, "I know you are a terrorist." You know, you can hear them talking that way. And you can't teach people to do that. You have people who want to be an actor who can't. They don't have the ability to change the way they think, to look at it from another's perspective, to project information. What this guy is not, the reason I'm saying that just what you just said about the kind of personality he has is clear, because his fight or flight gets up when he tries to jack this guy up even a little bit. If you don't believe that, he loses verbal fluency. Boom, 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 boom. He starts to go, "Do we need to do this step by?" And he starts stammering and has to correct himself. That tells you something has changed in his head, and we'll see it again. So there's that in him. The interrogation is working on him as well as the other guy. When he's saying, "I'm going to talk now," why? That's all you guys have done. Why don't you shut up and let this kid talk? The kid has talked plenty and will tell you anything you want to know, but that's not what they want to hear. They want to get the information in a package that fits their driver. And to your point, Chase, if all I want is a confession, I always said this, I can get a confession from you. Look, I'm a seer guy. I can get a confession from you in 3 days to anything I want, anything. I mean, you may have never been in that place and I could get it, because absolute pressure, control of all the person's resources, reward where you want it, is the answer to that. This can all be over. This can all be over. Usually when you know a person is pushing to get you that point. Torture is the same thing. Torture is an uneducated person's shortcut to getting a person to feel like they have to comply. This is all about getting both of these guys instead of one. Handful of other things. This cop is stumbling over his own words because he's feeling a duress. You guys have covered everything else. I'll just leave it at that. But you can see that it's even impacting him. These guys they may be senior guys who've interrogated a ton of people. Mark, I think you said it best. Maybe this always happened to guilty people. Maybe. And maybe they happen to people who roll over pretty easily and become guilty people. Don't know. But I don't think anybody wakes up in the morning and goes to set out to send people to jail for something they didn't do. There may be a handful of people in the world, but I do think if you don't know what you're doing and you can't see the things we're talking about here, you probably need some training. That's all I got.
Yeah, finally, Greg, to your point, man, about the beta male thing. I'm not saying that, I'm not trying to insult this guy, but his default to that being the solution means that he might view that in other ways. So he's kind of approaching this in a way that he's making himself look subordinate to this other person. Whoever loses composure first in the interrogation room loses the game.
Yeah, you know, Chase, I've had the Brits would always say you can never go from fear up back to any. You can. You just have to be fluid in your approaches. And when we talk about these approaches or these tools, all these things, Scott, you talk about read being a thing that you both. All these interrogation things have to be that fluid or they're not effective. I've forever I had students in the 90s over in Georgia. I would go down and talk to them and they had a Gumby as their mascot. And their little motto was Semper Gumby, forever flexible. Because when you walk in the interrogation room, every plan that you've had falls to shit. It's just the way it is.
Yeah. And I always like to say interrogation is theater for one, because that's really what you're doing. Yeah, I may have read that in one of your books, Greg.
You probably did. It's my first book. Yeah.
Okay, I probably did years ago. But that's one of the things I always open up with. It's theater for one, because you have to go in and you have to mold yourself to whatever's happening. You know, you have to be the nice guy, or hey, what's happening? Or you have to be the more aggressive person, or you can slide from one to the other. It's theater for one.
One of those tape replays.
Try to base.
Well,
I remember off of that. You know, let's just
stop right here. Okay. Now, one thing I'm not going to do is I'm not going to sit here and listen to this kind of gibberish. Okay, that's not. I'm not going to waste my time doing. No. Wait. Now listen. I'm going to start talking, and you're going to start listening. Okay. All right. I'm going to be point blank with you, pal. Right now, your hind end is the one that's hanging over the edge, and Ryan could care less about it. Okay? Do you understand me?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Now, you better start thinking very clearly.
Okay.
Because it's you that is on this chopping block.
Okay.
Am I clear to you?
Yes.
Now, do we need to go back and go through this step by step?
No.
Well, I think we do, and that's what we're going to do. And I don't want to hear, all of a sudden I just think I maybe fabricated all this and, No. What I want to hear is exactly what Ryan told you, because that's what's going to keep you in a position to where you're not going to be the sole individual out here responsible for what happened to Kent.
Okay.
Okay?
Yeah.
I can't be any more clear to you than that.
I understand.
And you need to understand it.
If you like this video, get the full body language breakdown and analysis on our main channel by clicking this video right here.